I'm with the judges and the organizer of the 2016 NSPS student competition. We're going to begin by having them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jim Sens from New Jersey. I'm the chairman of the NSPS student competition.
Amanda Allred from New Mexico. I'm the New Mexico director and a judge this year.
Hi, I'm Pat Beeler. I'm from Olympia, Washington State, that is, and I'm a past president of NSPS.
I'm Brian Aberezny. I'm from Pennsylvania, and I'm a judge this year.
My name is Mitch Duryea, and I'm from Spokane, Washington. I'm one of the judges this year.
So, judges, I'd like to begin by asking you your overall impressions of the preparation, the quality of the materials that were presented to you, as well as the actual oral presentations that were made. Just your overall comments in terms of the caliber of the presentations, rather than getting into the actual content, the technical content. I'll start with you, Pat.
All right, the one thing I noticed about the presentations, and I viewed it as I was the client that was getting the presentation from the consultant who had done the work. And the way I looked at it was that I am a knowledgeable client, either an engineer, an architect, or a developer who was relying on the services provided. And I was very impressed, again I say impressed, as I usually am with all the years that I've been a judge, with the ability for the students to convey a message and make it very succinct. So I was very impressed with everything they did, and I think it was a great job.
I also was impressed. The amount of work and effort that went into each individual project was truly amazing. You can see the amount of work and dedication that it took for each thing. Different teams shined in different areas, but overall you can clearly see the amount of effort that went into it. So I was overly impressed.
What impressed me the most was the overall professionalism that the students showed in a learning project, that they went above and beyond and prepared and presented to us maps and documents that would be acceptable in most engineering surveying firms.
And I would definitely encourage anybody that is worried about the future of surveying to attend one of these competitions, because we had 9 teams, 2 from two-year colleges and 7 from universities around the country. And it was mind-blowing to me to see, like the gentleman, my colleague said, the professionalism and the overall knowledge that they have. And it really made me hopeful for the future of surveying. Anybody who says that there's not up-and-coming surveyors is completely wrong, and I'd encourage you to come see for yourself.
Thank you. Jim, you get a lot of credit for having organized this thing to come up with a project that they could all tackle from diverse geographical areas and different types of schools, for that matter. As we know, Great Basin is an online institution, so you get a lot of credit for making something that they were all willing to tackle. So let me give you the microphone and ask you to comment a little bit about the response of the students. Was it a hard project for you to tackle? Were you getting a lot of itty-bitty questions all the time?
I did not really get a lot of questions. I had a little flurry of questions at the beginning part of the process, but most of the students really grappled the project kind of on their own and really developed their own plan, which is, I think, part of the really exciting part of it, is how they take the project as their own and really come up with their own parameters for the project. The project's defined very loosely and kind of on purpose, because I like to see what the students, tackle and come up with on their own. I did want to echo one thing, or come back to something with the judges, and the place finishes were so close. We literally, between all the honorable mentions and third place was about 12 points. So they really put forth great effort, and it was wonderful to see.
I also noticed that you had a few more teams participating this year, I believe, than you had last year. Is that a trend you think that you can sustain?
That's a trend I would love to sustain. We actually had 13 schools that sent in the pre-notification, and for various reasons, some schools were not able to complete the task. And one of the things that I think we need to think about in this competition is funding. I know at least 2 schools dropped out because funding was a problem for getting the students here. And, you know, one of the things that I want to do in this competition moving forward is find ways to get sponsorships from private industry and state societies. Don't want the students to have to take on this monumental task, because it is a monumental task, and have to raise funds for it as well. I think that's an awful lot to ask the students to do.
One of the reasons NSPS wanted to expand the video coverage this year was to try and help inform the professional societies and the members in them about the caliber of the students and the caliber of the work that they actually present to the judges. I think in some cases, as the judges have already said, they would be the equal of some of our practitioners. And I think perhaps that there isn't enough appreciation for what the students of today are able to do. Is there anything that you can think of that would help increase participation beyond funding?
I've gotten a number of different comments from different schools. You know, things are sort of from a technical or really almost a minute or kind of esoteric even. You know, when you get the topic out to them, and how do they plan for that? I think that one great start is exactly what we're doing is as NSPS, as a national level organization, getting that word out in every way that we can and any way that we can, that this is really a worthwhile endeavor. And you know, we all as professional surveyors and state societies, we're all obviously affiliated with state societies, really have to embrace this and work really hard to make this a positive experience and get more participation in here, because it is a great event.
So any concluding remarks from any of you? Judges, I know you had to work really hard all through the day, stay especially attentive because it's such a long day and you have so many presentations to wade through. Do you have any suggestions on how future judges might be able to participate? Because I'm going to guess, Jim, that you probably have to twist a few arms to get judges to participate.
It's an arm-twisting endeavor. Except for Amanda, she already signed on for next year, so I'm holding her to it, even if she didn't mean it.
So just judges, from your personal point of view, first of all, I'm assuming, or you can tell me whether it was a way for you to develop yourselves, but then do you have any suggestions or comments you could make to people about participating in this important activity and how they could support our students who are coming in?
I would say the one thing that really enlightened me was, as a judge, is again to look at the caliber of the education programs that they're involved in. It isn't just the presentation we saw, but it's very indicative of the kind of training they're getting in the universities and the community college in order to be the technicians and the professionals of the future. Because when they came in, they were very, very knowledgeable, far beyond the knowledge that I had even after I'd been in the profession for 5 years. So coming out of college, these kids, or excuse me, young people, young adults, will be ready to hit the streets and get out there and work for us as surveyors. So I would encourage anybody that wants to be or is asked to be a judge to really take the opportunity. And it was a long day, but it is in a lot of ways very fulfilling to be able to sit there and listen to what they have to say.
Yeah, I'd like to echo. It was a fulfilling experience. I would also say it was somewhat enlightening and rewarding professionally as well. Going through the packets and seeing how other people approach a different problem is always interesting to see the standpoint that somebody else takes. So it's always nice to have that opinion, different feedback, and different ways different people approach a problem. It's always interesting to see that. So I enjoyed it and gained some experience from that as well.
For me, it's a very energizing experience to be able to spend a day with a room full of college students that are doing something they truly enjoy and that they want to show what they are learning in their school and their classes and their class projects and how that relates to our industry.
The last thing I'd like to mention too is the diversity of the equipment that was used. We had teams show up with bathymetric equipment that was used and LiDAR. And it was really fantastic to see the community support and the surveying organizations that helped out these teams.
Well, with that, we'll sign off, and we'll wait and see how next year's competition develops.